Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gray Man Prepping. It is time for Survival Saturday, and tonight's topic is slow. Is after they start cloning, what are your plans now? Warning, possible fantasy fair porn Kool-Aid drinking zone ahead. Then again, maybe not, or then again, maybe. How's everybody doing out there? All right, let me get over here and make sure I said hi to everybody. I think I did, but let's go through everybody as they came in. First one in was me. Second one in was Crew 1351. Then Market Chef Tech. Then Moon Over Miami. Then Kaylin Strain. Then Geeky Gardens. Little Lone Prepper. Diana. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. And that's all the ones making comment. So, like I had it up there earlier, lurking is fine. Just, say hi or say, I'm listening or whatever. So, yeah, I threw up a little grim one here, but I figured, hey, DNA, they need DNA for cloning. And then it struck me as I was setting up the live to go, the last half hour was, what if they clone somebody who's dead, like George Washington, Teddy Roosevelt, Albert Einstein? So I threw this background up here. All right. Yeah, this one here is a can of worms. And this has so many conflicting moral stances on it, and it's just one of those weird ones that is, I mean, it started cloning sheep, and then there was somebody else cloned something else and got arrested because, oh, you're not a scientist, you're not allowed to do that. No, you're a scientist, but not a doctor. Only doctors can do that, not scientists. Something stupid like that. So anyways, yeah, so there are and things, it varies from country to country. We've already decided you can't do this, or I say it's okay, don't worry about it, because they're not going to have the same mind, and the person's personality comes from their environment as well as genetics. Well, yeah, but still, if you got two people who look identical and they have identical fingerprints, one could go, ooh, I can go pretend to be him. So let's see here. I think I had one more. Yeah, so I was searching for some clone stuff, and the first thing YouTube came up with was the Clone Wars. Both mentioned in the was it the third prequel, and plus the animated series as well, which I never watched. So this is what's, let's see, do I have anything else after it? Yeah, so we'll get into this in a second, but yeah, so there's a lot of questions as far as cloning goes, for the moral ambiguity. I can't even pronounce it now. Ambiguity of it, So, but some of the things we need to think about is, if I can bring it back up here, what are the causes for cloning? Man-made on purpose, 99.99% probable. Man-made mistake, 0.0001 or 0.00001 possible. Or somebody could just get lucky and crack the code and go, oh, this is how we can actually do it, and either raise them totally empty shells or mirroring the memories of their creator, which brings me to a TV show that was on, and I I have been struggling for the last 2 days trying to remember the name of this TV show from the 70s, maybe early 80s, but I think it's the 70s, where the guy clones himself and they all share a memory, share the memory with the main one. So if one goes off and does this, the main person feels and knows what he's doing, but the other clones don't. And they're it's not, I think it only had several. I'm not even sure if it actually I think all they aired was the pilot for it, and they filmed a second episode, and the studio canceled it because the moral implications were too high. Yeah. So, and the problem is that people that are doing experiments on this stuff right now have practically zero conscience. They're doing stuff they should never be doing. Oh, we're going to take how to do this without getting kicked off. We're going to take the remnants of a procedure done at a clinic that was set up by a racist woman, and take those pieces and work on using those for figuring out cloning. And then do the same thing also with animals and stuff, and see if we can find things that work the same and everything else. But yeah. Yeah, I remember that one too. But this was, that's a different. I've totally forgot about that one, Kaylin. But yeah, there's just this is one we can get ourselves in big trouble with. Oh, and then of course there was the one that was rather interesting on Star Trek: The Next Generation, where a deep space exploration ship went out before Kirk even went out, and there were two groups of people on it. One were all scientific, forward thinkers, advanced type, wanting to do advanced, perfect, one of the perfect type societies went out, and the other ones trying to find a planet where they could go back to the 1600s or 1700s, farming, get rid of almost Mennonite and Amish in actions, not in their religious beliefs, but just and the ones going back and they wanted to go back into and the other ones went on to their destination, and they got caught in some sort of cosmic storm, or whatever, and the ship crashed. There were only like 13 people that survived, and so they started cloning themselves. Bring back the dinosaurs. That movie didn't end well. Of course, that movie didn't have other scientific basis in it. But hang on a second. What's going on here? Hang on. Yeah, the grandkids are over here, and one of them decided, I'm going to go back over. He was told to come over here, and he went over there, and he got kicked out by his mom because Eli's having a problem over there. He's the medications aren't mixing with his puberty hormones going wild. So yeah. There have been several people pointing something out about the dinosaur movie. Let's see, you got a big T-Rex. Oh wow, I'm going to take this 50 caliber or this 20 millimeter anti-material rifle and anti-material that dinosaur. Anyways. I didn't hear that part of it, that they were clones. I must have missed that in the movie. Yeah, they are getting trying to get the woolly mammoth to go. And everyone thinks, oh, the woolly mammoth was a slow mover. It's a gentle beast. And boy, they're going to be wrong. All right, what have I got here next? Mitigation. What can we do to protect ourselves from them doing this? And what can we do to recover from them doing the cloning of people? Well, I know there are all sorts of lawsuits going on right now, trying to stop them and suing the scientists that are trying to do it from using that have used human DNA and material from deceased entities without permission, and they're getting sued over that, and also using material from living people without permission. That's where they're really going to get in trouble. I'm sorry, I'm just so thirsty. I probably ran the tractor for about 6.5 hours today, and then the ride-on lawnmower for another 2 hours, and then was out there doing stuff by hand in the sun. So I'm a bit thirsty today, and I took my electrolyte drinks and stuff. But wow. Yep, because they don't have all the knowledge, and they always screw it up and take shortcuts. What is the prime example of that? The book by Mary Shelley, Frankenstein. That didn't go too well either. Yep. And here's the thing. What I saw some reports about 4 or 5 days ago that hospitals are pushing for C-sections. Why? Because when it's a C-section, they can recover what's the word they used? An unstressed placenta and spinal cord, and that gets immediately put in refrigeration and shipped off to researchers. So they put so those who do go through natural childbirth, the placenta and the cord are not usable for genetic experiments. Yeah. And I froze. Okay. So mitigation is all you can do is put into your will that that no part of your body can be kept or used for scientific experiments or whatever they want to call it. They're using a different term now instead of experiment, but that's what it is. They're experimenting on it, on the material. And and just make sure make sure your family, if at all possible, does open casket, because there have been cases where there was what was in the casket was just weights, it wasn't, the body had already been sold for research. There's been several cases of that. Recovering from this, that's a whole nother can of worms. There's the proper we must maintain calm and use the legal system to do stuff. And then there's the other one where people get a little rambunctious and act like the Antifa and Black Lives Matter people, going off on the ones that are doing it instead of them. You know, you get what I'm talking about. All right. Trying to remember which one this was. Oh, this was from the movie The Island, where they have all these bodies for their clients. So this is client number 5, I guess. And they are kept alive. And if a kidney failure, heart failure, lungs, whatever, they have parts on standby. And they have they get the rest of it? No. And some of the people are living, carrying out their own lives, and they go, "Oh, you're going off the island or to the island or whatever it is, as some big, you won the lottery type thing." And where they go is in the facility to have organs harvested for their genetic donor. Clubs and pitchforks. I was thinking something along the lines of 20 millimeter or 30 millimeter. But yeah, so this is the one talking about clones for, copycatting a person to harvest organs. And then of course there is the Matrix, where it's sort of cloning. They're creating babies and putting them into the gestation pods and power production pods. And yeah, they do anything else? That was the last one. I had another one had a. I guess I didn't copy. I got distracted by the grandkids. Where they talking? Where it had a picture of the drawing for the lottery type thing. Now, another movie that made me think about this, which I've only heard one or two people thinking about it, and that was Logan's Run, where genetic material is taken from one of the female inhabitants and one of the male inhabitants, and artificial insemination or cloning and divide something so they don't everyone doesn't come out being related and stuff. But yeah, that was one that could possibly had some cloning behind the scenes stuff. But yeah, there's anytime like Jack said, anytime man tries to play God, it doesn't end well. And hang on a second here. They're starting to get loud. I don't know if you heard them or not, but I heard they were working on it. I didn't know that they'd actually succeeded. But then they brought the dire wolf back for Game of Thrones. Oma. Multiplicity. I never saw it. I heard about it. I just never saw the movie. But yeah, and of course, something like it's a comedy. So it makes you feel all good about it. But yeah, there's just, for me, there's only one way to make another person. That's with a man and a woman, or you prefer husband and wife, and they make another one. Oh, what was it? It's the Mandalorian when Mando brought Boba Fett to meet. I forget her name. Shoot, the one that played Starbuck in the Battlestar Galactica remake. Um, the night owl, they call it, because the thing for her clan. But she goes, "Your donor, don't you mean?" And he goes, "This army belonged to my father." "Your donor, don't you mean?" And one of the reviewers, people were watching, and go, "Well, we all have donors, so." My daddy was a donor and my mommy was a donor, but that wasn't like that way. Yeah, dire wolves are intense. Oh, what'd you miss? We missed, you missed talking about how this is a very um, dividing and energizing topic among a lot of people out there, especially the I'm not going to anyways, who are all for it and stuff, and then all the crap going on they're doing illegally. Oh, well, it's not illegal because we had a little law passed that said we could do it, such as harvesting um, placentas and um, umbilical cords and stuff like that. But now we've talked a bunch of cloning flicks, you know, the Matrix, the Island, a few others, and of course some TV shows where they had groups had gotten isolated, so they started cloning themselves. But yeah, the problem is when you get government behind it, and then you get rich people buying the government to become in charge of it. And I'm seriously on the conspiracy side that old BG with all his money is funding the cloning to see if they can make a viable clone of him and then transfer his memories into it. Oh, there was another one where they were doing that. Uh, uh, Shoot, Eon Flux or whatever it was, where everybody was a clone and they were all had memory wipes, so they thought oh, you just had a baby. No, it's a clone. Okay, is she just going without you, or are you going too? Because if she's getting packed, you just grab the duffel bag, you just do a bunch of crap in it if you're going. Babe, we're only going for 5 days. Why do you need 37 suitcases? Moon movie was a cloning movie. I'm not sure what the Moon movie you're talking about is. There's the one with the island and several others. But yeah, the thing is, though, it's not going to end well, right? Because even the animals they have cloned, like the sheep and stuff, there were problems that they didn't talk about, and they kind of blew off. But um, I, I thought the sheep did not live, like even half as long as most sheep should. Uh, uh, Dolly. Yeah, Dolly was the sheep born, hatched in 1996 at the Roslin Institute in Scotland. It was the first mammal to be cloned from an adult stem cell. Ooh, they've been cloning. They've been cloning from non-adult stem or somatic cells. And so Dolly was born in 96, passed away 7 years later in 2003. And where am I at? There I am, back here. Oh, just you and the dog there now. So she took off and left you at home. All right, everybody, party starts in 2 hours over at Mark's house. Anyways, yeah, this is one, it's kind of hard to address. All you can do is address your feelings about it. Like I said, if you're worried about it, there are legal things you do to keep your body, or supposedly keep your body, from being used for cloning. Why they'd want to clone my body, I don't know. I feel like a horse that's been rode hard and put away wet. Everything's breaking and creaking, and I sound like someone dropped the microphone in the bowl of Rice Krispies. Oh, Sam Rockwell, Moon. He was a miner. He thought his wife and baby were home. His wife was long gone. Baby was 65 years old. Oh, that was that other one. Was it number 5 or something like that? Where this guy was being cloned over, and when he dies, all his memories are put into the new clone, and he goes out into whatever stupid thing they're doing in the movie. I never watched it because it was, and to me, that's just so stupid. Yeah, and I guess the current number 5 body is the longest living one so far. I don't know. Yeah, it would be definitely, it would feel sketchy for sure, especially in the time frame it would take to grow it, to use it. Because if they accelerate the growth on it, what's to stop it from keep aging at an accelerated rate? Yeah. Oh, you got your new heart. Oh, 6 months later, oh, it grew old and died on you. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, this like I said, this was one without getting into a lot of stuff that the platform would go, oh no, you're talking about this, that, and the other. It's, can't really say what I would really like to say about it, but you've seen me go off on a tangent before, so you could probably figure out some things I would like to say about it. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I don't think it's a good idea to try growing organs and stuff. Heck, so well, if they grew the organ, they could do transplant or whatever. And someone else will say, yeah, all right, your finger gets severed. They get the severed finger immediately, put it in the ice, get it to the hospital, and sometimes it doesn't. Putting it on doesn't work. And they're going to take your brain out of one body and put it on another body, inside another body, inside the head, and all those billions or trillions of nerve connections, they're going to get those all right. Yeah, no soul. But yeah, it's just I was raised. They were talking about, oh, nerves are so fine, they're damaged to nerves. We can't fix them because they're so small. They're so absolutely small that we can hardly even see to try to get the nerves together and then try to get them to reconnect when we don't know if they have the right connection to the right receiver or not. Yeah, I mean it's amazing. That's that's part of the problems with like heart transplants and lung transplants and stuff. Is there's so much that, oh, we think we got everything connected up right, and the person's living for another 5 years till something fails. The expenses, I'm not to sound harsh or uncaring or unfeeling here, but the expense almost doesn't match up to the results. And they want to clone us for parts, or have us clone our own parts so we can live forever. I'm trying to remember who one of the aging actors said, I've lived through so much already. I don't want to be put in another body again. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. This was just kind of a food for thought, thinking like, what am I going to do? Am I going to get to the legal document that says that nobody can touch my body after I'm dead? I'm going to do this. I'm going to get involved in the preemptive lawsuits that some people are trying to file now. Whatever. All right. Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound, we're going to talk about canning supplies, dehydrating supplies, freeze dry supplies, open chat, just talking about supplies you need for food preservation. And let's see here. Tuesday, back here on Gray Man Prepping, is Build Your Skill Bank. Thursday's the Midnight Ride. Friday, back over on Camp Patton, your home without China crap. What would it be like? And that was submitted by one of you guys or gals. Next Saturday, after the WHO demands chipping, what are your plans? That one was put in before the U.S. has pretty much pulled out of the WHO and said, can you read between the lines? You guys are a bunch of crooks and you're wasting the money we've been giving you. So, yep, we're cutting off all our funding to you and we are withdrawing from the WHO. So, but anyways, we're still going to put it in there, put it and discuss it in case someone else decides to do it, Mr. Michael Slop. All right, so that's what's coming up here, folks. And as always, stay happy, stay safe, keep up on your prepping, and we'll see you Monday over on Camp Patton Family Compound. All right, I got to go deal with kids, so I'll see you later.